broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rackets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And good evening, race fans. Welcome to the Racing for a Cause Vapor Trail Series. It is Tuesday night, getting ready to go here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. My name is Chris, and I am going to be your host tonight. Normally joining me, my good friend Rick, but, well, I think he might be feeling a little under the weather. So we'll see if he ends up joining us or not a little later on. But let's go ahead and get talking with Tyler Hilton, Chris, and I guess I was going to say Chris and Rick up in the booth out of habit, but just me tonight, Tyler. Well, what's going on tonight, buddy?
Hey, how's it going, Chris? Pretty good.
Oh, man, it's going really well, you know. Just getting ready to watch you guys here at the Lucas Oil Raceway. That's a lot of car for such a small track, bud.
Yeah, it is. A lot of power, a lot of cars out here. It's a great showing, but it's sure going to bring some fireworks tonight, I think, for you up there in the booth and for everybody watching.
I'll tell you, I've been kind of waiting for this one all day long because, well, you know, maybe a couple of people and I were talking about this different times in the day, but, man, this thing is going to be a show. Listen, you were the sponsor of tonight's race. I want to go ahead and give you some time to talk about why.
Cool. Yeah, I appreciate it. Hilton Designs, definitely a sponsor with RFC. I'm glad to do our second season now with them. You know, we love what we do. We do homemade crafts, designs, photography, stuff like that in the North Carolina area. So, Central North Carolina, Piedmont region. So, anybody that's interested, definitely check us out on Facebook. You know, you can go there at Crafts by Hilton and check us out. And yeah, we always got something new coming out. So that and Mission 22, evidence-based Monty, everybody that sponsors this Falcon Motorsports team. It's kind of all wrapped up into one deal. But yeah, it's good to be a part of this race, and hopefully it's a good show for everyone.
Well, I'm sure it's going to be, bud, and good luck to you, and thank you for sponsoring tonight's race, man. Good on you.
Thanks, bud. Got to find a little bit of speed, but we'll get there.
Yeah, you know, the big thing tonight is going to be staying out of the trouble, right?
Yeah, especially with the 17-point incident limit. We got to watch that. So you can use your car up quick here, but yeah, staying out of trouble, that's going to definitely be a key, and trying to round that top without getting into the wall.
Yeah, exactly. All right, bud, we'll get you back out there. You got about just under 5 minutes left to practice. Good luck again.
Appreciate it, Chris. Have a good one.
You too, bud. That is Tyler Hilton, tonight's sponsor, getting ready to set foot on track and see if he can figure out a way around this track, maybe a little bit faster. Right now he's being scored 23rd fastest here during practice. Chris Mefford on the top of that board. Mefford is first in his number 46. Guys, if you missed last week's race, it was really, really good. Jerry West was the race winner last week, and man, he was working that thing to get it there. A lot of fun to watch that one. If you missed it, I'd say go on back and check it out. It was a lot of fun. Linda, I want to say it in person. Hello. Thank you for coming on out. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the point standings after one race. It's going to be Jerry West on top, Jason Anderson, Dustin Ping rounding out the top 3, Chris Spencer, Tim Lee, Steve Baker, the top 6, Justin Rigsby, Tom Quattlebaum Jr., Jeff Stiles, and Doug Wasaki rounding out that top 10. Josh Balding, Chris Mefford, and Eric Blunt 11th through 13th. Russell Brown, Mike Massengill, and Ray Radford 14th through 16th. Enrique Torres, Bobby Summers, Brandon Hartwell, and Doug Johnson rounding out the top 20. Again, last week was just a phenomenally good time. If you missed it, you got to check it out, man. It was so good. Guys, we have a little bit of time here to kill. We're going to step away for just a moment. We're going to bring you a commercial, and we'll be back on the other side.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
And we are back here at Lucas Oil Raceway. This is a short track, just 7/10 of a mile. I have to round up to get there. These guys out here in the Monster Energy cars, they're throwing down a huge amount of power on this very short track. This is going to be entertaining, guys. We have a bunch of cars out there on track. And in fact, right now, it looks like we have about 35 in server. That's crazy for this small track. Usually we see, 15 late model cars out here, or super late models, street stocks. But to have 700 plus horsepower under the hood at the control of your right foot, unbelievable what these guys are trying to do tonight. This one is going to be entertaining. Make sure you stay tuned right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, because qualifying coming up in about 5 seconds. All right, looks like Chris Mefford going to be the first one out on track. He was the guy with the quickest time during practice. So no surprise, he wants to get out there and get it done quickly. Here we are going into turns 1 and 2, getting ready for that first hot lap. And already we're seeing these cars, so much power. This is going to be very, very, very entertaining tonight. Dylan Blankenship was able to put down a lap, and so are a few others. So we're going to go right down into the action here. Dylan Blankenship and his 5 getting ready to complete lap number 2 of his qualifying effort. The Chevy coming across the line. Not quite as fast as the first time through. Did lose about 0.2 of a second, did Blankenship. Steve Allen in his mission 22, number 14. Spinks not able to go that time around, ended up on around the other way. Autism Speaks car of Eric Blunt. Very cool car. Holy cow, that is awesome. Aaron Tolhurst stopped in the middle of the track. Bobby Summers getting around it, 23. So far, Bobby Summers has a 23.32, second fastest on the grid. The 23 holds on to it coming out of turn 4, but does not increase his time. Back out there with Matt Spinks. Matthew Spinks, fourth fastest, a 23.60. Tyler Hilton did end up finding some speed here during the qualifying effort. Right now being scored in 8th. Justin Ping holding out on the end of pit road now decides to get it going. It's like these guys know. It's amazing. I turn the camera on him and boom. AJ Rogers taking over the top spot in the qualifying effort, 21.99. And here comes Ping into 1 and 2. Ping with a pretty strong showing last week. Maybe not the finish he deserved. Like to try and rectify that this week. Ping crosses the start-finish line. 7th quickest so far. Here comes Troy Radford, driver of the 94. He's starting to wind that up. TheKidney.org, number 94. So often we've seen different variations of that paint scheme, but always the National Kidney Foundation. Radford right now pulling a 2nd place starting spot if everything were to finish the way it is. Cade Green out there running in 5th. Doug Johnson. You know, both Johnsons last week didn't really have the finish they wanted. They were dominating the first part of that race. They were up front, really using each other up, helping each other out. And neither one of them got the finish they wanted. It was really unfortunate, but there was just so many cars out there, and well, it was Daytona. And that is the end of qualifying. A lot of drivers did not qualify. Colin Allman is going to have the pole. We're going to get ready to grid here in just a moment. Starting on row number 1, it's going to be Colin Allman. Going to be starting his number 12 on the pole. To his outside, going to be Troy Radford in the 94. Starting second row, position number 3, it's going to be AJ Rogers in the 17. KD going to be starting his 88 on 4th spot. Starting in 5th tonight, it's going to be Cade Green in the 19. Dylan Blankenship in the number 5, starting 6th spot. Starting in 7th tonight, it's going to be Bobby Summers and Matthew Spink starting 8th. Chris Berg going to be starting his 67 in 9th position. Dustin Ping going to start in 10th. 11th spot belongs to Justin Rigsby in the number 99. Enrique Torres starting in 12th position in his number 77. Doug Wasaki going to start his 45 in 13th position. Donald Clark going to start in 14th. In 15th position, it's the number 6 of Eric Blount, with Tyler Hilton ending up 16th in that qualifying run in his number 82. Tom Quattlebaum Jr. in the 08, going to be starting inside row number 9, 17th position. Jeffrey Stiles just to his outside in 18th. Row 10 made up of Stephen Allen starting in 19th spot. Ricky Harden going to start in 20th. Aaron Tolhurst picking up position 21 with Russell Brown starting his 00 in 22nd. 23rd spot belongs to Josh Spalding, with Chris Spencer going to be starting in 24th. 25th position belongs to the 55 of Steve Baker. Brandon Hartwell going to be starting his 01 in 26th. 27th belongs to Dakota Bryant, Dustin German in 28th. Andy Lambert starting in 29th, Chris Mefford in 30th. John Johnson and Doug Johnson starting 31st and 32nd. Chad Collier, Ray Radford starting 33rd and 34th. And bringing up the shotgun position tonight is going to be Mike Massengill, driving the number 4 in 35th spot. That is the starting lineup as we get ready to go. Very short track, lots of horsepower, 17 incident point limit. This is going to be exciting. Colin Allman waiting for the green flag flies, and they start dropping the power down. 700 plus horsepower going into turn number 1. Allman with that inside lane, able to take advantage, and he is going to hold on to the race lead. Troy Radford holding on to second. We're 2x2 for third. It's going to be AJ Rogers and KD, and we got one going around. It looks like it was the 77. That was Enrique Torres. Caution flag is out, as that happened a little bit quicker than I thought it was going to. Let's go back and take a look. So we're watching the white and blue 77. That's Enrique Torres. Torres holding on to that bottom line. These guys going 3 wide. Just not enough room here in IRP. And he was on the bottom lane. He got clipped in the left-hand side, and around he goes into the inside retaining wall. Not a huge amount of damage. That Mustang will be okay. Not the start they were looking for here tonight from IRP, but again, very, very short track. Just under 7/10 of a mile. And these guys really flying around this thing. This is going to be 175 laps. I don't know if I can hold my breath that long, but boy, it's going to be really interesting. So the 2019 Ford Mustang GT with the lights on for the first time. We're working lap number 5 under caution, an early incident involving Enrique Torres, bringing out that first caution of the night. Few drivers did not start tonight's event. The 78 Dakota Bryant, Ray Radford, and the 70 of Andy Lambert. Colin Allman going to restart as the race leader once again. Troy Radford going to pick up his outside. AJ Rogers, Dale Osmond, KD for short. Making up that second row, Dylan Blankenship and Cade Green making up the third row when we fold them up and get ready to go one more time. Again, this is IRP. Very, very short track. And these are the Monster Energy cars. Lots of power. Will not disappoint. They're going to have to exhibit an incredible amount of patience here tonight, because there are just so many cars out there. If they all went nose to tail, there'd be enough just about to go around this track. So something to be watchful of. As we get set to go back to the green flag, pace car dropping in, waiting. And Allman decides it's time to go. Green flag waving. Troy Radford trying to hold on a second. Going to have to cut down. Does not. Stays up to the high side. Ends up being a good move. KD, Dale Osmond, gets up to third spot, pushing AJ Rogers to fourth. Dylan Blankenship holding on to fifth. Cade Green sixth. Bobby Summers in the 23, working the inside, but may have fallen a couple of positions. That inside lane may not be where the grip is here tonight. So often when we're watching IRP, we're watching passing happening on the inside. With the power that these cars have, it may shift things to the outside. That can get uncomfortable if you're not used to riding out there. Got to go all the way back to about, oh, we got big wrecks going on. Chris Berg involved with that one. We'll go back and take a peek. Assuming I can find it. And it looks like Chris Berg may have left the server, which is going to make it really impossible actually for me to find. So we'll miss that one. I want to go ahead and thank everybody out there watching right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. You're watching the RFC Vapor Trail Series, RFC Racing for a Cause. Right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. It's Tuesday. 40% through the work week. My name is Chris. I am usually accompanied by Rick. Rick's not here tonight. He did say something about his back being pretty sore, and I think his boss has been working him pretty hard at work too, so. Long line of cars out there tonight. You see them all stretched out through the field. I haven't even had a chance really to go through the field yet. Every time these guys get going, it's it bottlenecks up and something happens. ...2019 Ford Mustang pace car, shutting the lights down, heading down back stretch. Won't be long now. It'll turn down onto pit road and will unleash these Monster Energy cars once again. Colin Allman, still your race leader. Pace car drops onto pit road. Waiting for Allman to make the decision when he's going to go. And he goes. Loud button has been pressed inside of the number 12. Again, taking the lead. Troy Radford, KD Osmond. Osmond on the inside. The 17, AJ Rogers may be looking to take advantage. He does. That puts Osmond down one position into 4. Dylan Blankenship, though, he's making that inside work. The 5 working the inside of Cade Green. The 5 has the opening if he wants to move up. So far, he doesn't. He is staying right there at about the middle lane. A little bit of speed he's found. And the 9 of Dustin Ping was using that same line. Let's see if it works for him this time by. He's got the 99 of Rigsby coming up behind him. Ping not able to get around Cade Green, but didn't lose a position either. So that's a win-win right there, or a lose-win, something like that. Matthew Spinks driving his number 35 around this track. He's in 9th position with Doug Wasaki holding on a 10th spot. A good run so far out of Wasaki. Jeffrey Stiles in the number 85, sitting in 11th spot with Chris Spencer right behind him. Spencer touching the wall in the 25. Josh Spalding behind him. That's the 13th spot. The 18 of Donald Clark out there. Running in 14th and rounding out the top 15. It's the 01 of Brandon Hartwell. Hartwell down to the inside trying to make something happen. Hartwell trying to line up side by side with the 18. Couldn't quite do it. But it looks like the 48 of Joshua Spalding is making that inside line work. So it will work. We've seen it now a couple of times. The inside lane will work. And if it rubbers in, it may be where they all want to go. The 18 now trying to make that happen. Clark to the inside of the 85. Stiles starting to go backwards just a little bit. Go back just a little bit further. You got Ricky Harden, Steve Baker. That's the 31 and the 55. Last week's winner, Justin German out there. Not the last week's winner, excuse me. Teammate, though. Tom Quattlebaum out there in his 08. He is down to 20th spot after having a little bit of issue. You see the damage on that car. Doug Johnson starting to get around this track. He has left his brother behind by a position, because behind him it is going to be Chad Collier. Collier separating the brothers Johnson. He's in 22nd. John Johnson in 23rd. Aaron Tolhurst running in 24th. Chris Mefford in the 46, running in 25th position. Eric Blunt running in 26th. Russell Brown in the 0 car running in 27th. The 6 gets very tight. Mike Massengill has moved up a couple of spots. He's running in 28th position. Stephen Allen running in 29th. And rounding out the field tonight, the 77 of Enrique Torres. Torres being scored 1 lap down. He was involved in that very first caution, and speed is definitely an issue for the 77 right now. Back up front, it is Colin Allman. Allman is got himself a pretty decent lead right now, almost a full second over second place runner Troy Radford, with AJ Rogers holding on to 3rd. Dale Osmond still sitting in 4th spot. Got that sun drop car working again. Dylan Blankenship holding on to the 5th spot. Cars are starting to spread out now, and this was bound to happen. Allman, your race leader, goes across the start-finish line to start lap number 27 of 175. If these guys can keep this pace up, this race is not going to last very long. Next time by, we're going to drop right down into the cockpit of the number 12 and see what it's like from his vantage point. This is a very short track. The other thing, it's not really banked all that much, so these guys really going to struggle with this car as the tires start to wear, especially. Coming out of 4 now is the 12 of Allman. Allman going to take us around the track. Pretty cool stuff out of the top, too. We were first in the cockpit for a couple of laps with Allman, then we dropped down into the fender mode. We looked out just to see how he saw the track, and well, not a lot out there yet. The 94 able to catch him a little bit for a moment, but now falls back to a full second gap. AJ Rogers still holding on to third in his number 17 with the 88 of KD sitting in 4th spot. Blankenship still holding on to the 5th spot. The 19 of Cade Green has separated himself from Dustin Ping in the 9. Josh Spalding in the 48. Running 8th spot right now with Matthew Spink solidly in the top 10. Running 9th spot. Has a little separation between himself and Chris Spencer in the 25. Spencer is the last car in the top 10, but he's got the 01 of Brandon Hartwell starting to breathe down his neck. Hartwell trying to figure out a way to get around that 25, passing here under full speed. Still a little bit of a mystery from these guys. '99 of Rigsby starting to close in on these two drivers. Rigsby is very, very good at short tracks, so watch him as this race continues on. That experience that he has on short tracks may pay off here tonight. Here comes the 99 of Rigsby. He is starting to catch the back bumper of Hartwell. We'll see which way he decides he's going to try and pass. Will it be to the inside? Ooh, the 25 scraping into the wall. Chris Spencer gets a little too tight there. Touches the wall with the right side of his number 25. And you know the 01, Brandon Hartwell, smells blood now. The 01 takes a slightly shallower line out of turn 4. Not able to get there, though. Through 1 and 2, the 99 catching the back bumper. These three drivers really battling it out for position as we under caution. And it looks like it may have involved the 45 of Doug Wasaki. We'll go back, take a peek. Doug Wasaki sitting to the outside of the 28. Wasaki coming out of turn number 4. Oh, they get together and Wasaki goes around. Keeps it off from the inside wall, though. Good driving from Doug to keep that 45 off the wall. Minimal damage and able to get it back going once again. So we're sitting on lap number 40 now. Under caution once again. A lot of drivers coming down pit road, including your race leader, Colin Allman, but now it's time for those drivers that were a lap down. Tom Quattlebaum leading the way. Allman picking back up the race lead. The 77, Enrique Torres, going to try to get a lap back. He stays out on track. That should allow him to go around the pace car. Some of these drivers kind of did a miscue there as far as tire situation. They were a little further back in the field. They ended up taking 4, and they're going to go a lap down, including the 9 of Ping. So Ping brings it back down pit road. He does have some front end damage. So maybe that was scheduled and he just wanted to get some repairs done. Again, a big field of drivers here tonight. 35 cars were in server. We're down to 30 on track. Of the 30, top 23 on the lead lap. Everybody else 1 lap down until you get to 30th spot. The number 39, Chad Collier. Collier being scored at 3 laps down. Looks like KD had a relatively slow pit stop, 20.8 seconds in his pit stall, and that put him down to 10th position. So KD losing a bunch of time on pit road. Gonna have to try and make that back out on track. Bobby checking in. Sorry your race didn't go the way you wanted it to, bud. Pace car comes back out. Field not situated. Admin decided, hey, let's bring that pace car back out, make sure we're all ready to go. Now the lights go off on the 2019 Ford Mustang GT. Once again, Colin Allman, still your race leader, has led every lap so far. And when he's in that clean air, boy, he is fast. He's got the fast lap of the race, lap number 9. A 23.70. Pace car in on pit road. These guys negotiate through. Lose a lot of ground to the 12 this time. And Troy Radford trying to catch the 12. Behind them, it's a battle for 3rd spot. The 17, AJ Rogers. And the 5 of Dylan Blankenship. Blankenship seems to have control of position right now. AJ Rogers lets it slide up towards the top. The 48, Josh Spalding making his way up front. Spalding trying to battle with the 17, can't quite get there. The 25, Chris Spencer behind him, so he shuffles himself back in line to reduce how much position he could lose. On the restart, KD able to make up 1 position. Here comes Rigsby. Rigsby is in 9th spot. Dylan Blankenship right now may have lost contact with the server. Blankenship not being shown out there. He was running in the top 5 and now not on server. We're going to watch that as it continues on because I've heard a couple of things about the iRacing servers tonight. Linda Jerry West, conspicuous by his absence tonight. Not in the race server. Not racing. So last week's winner not on track. And the 12 goes across the start-finish line. Lead one more time. The 94, Troy Radford trying to hold on. And he's going to try and figure this one out. We're down to 126 laps to go. Matthew Spinks, driver of the 35, has got cars in front and behind. In front of him, the 01, Brandon Hartwell. Behind him, KD. KD trying to peek on the inside. He's got Rigsby that might go with him. They both decide better and fall back into line. So tough to pass here. You're really waiting for somebody to make a mistake. Spinks rubs the wall just a little bit. The 5 back out on track. So he was able to get back in the server, but he is being scored 4 laps down after running in the top 5 for a good portion of the night. Heartbreaker for Dylan Blankenship, the 5 car. Go back and take a look at Doug Johnson, the 8 car. Doug sitting in 11th spot after starting way back in the field, so he is making his way up towards the front. The Johnson brothers really known for their super speedway driving, but you got to remember these guys are part of the RFC short track series for a long time, so they picked up a trick or two. Doug Johnson sitting in 11th spot, trying to sniff out that top 10. Right behind him, tonight's race sponsor, Tyler Hilton. Hilton running the Mission 22, Hilton Designs. And right now he is being scored in 12th spot. Behind him, John Johnson. So both of the Johnsons are starting to work their way up towards the front. There's that man right there, Chris Mefford in the 46. Mefford, during practice, had the fastest lap time, so he knows how to get around this track. He's just got to get around some of the competition. If he can do that, he might be a challenge for the race lead. Behind him, the 55, that's Steve Baker, racing for a cause's very first season championship. Winner was the 55. Back then, it was a black car, Navy. Donald Clark, driver of the 28, sitting in 6th. Oh, excuse me. Donald Clark was coming down pit road. Dustin German, the driver of the 28. Ricky Harden behind him. Eric Blount sitting in 18th spot in that beautiful 6 car. That's a really nice car. Autism awareness. There's another gentleman that didn't get into service tonight, Rick Greenaway. Speaking of autism awareness, as we got the 35 around. And that puts the 9 around as well. So 35, Matthew Spinks, and it's causing all kinds of problems up here. 35, 39, 9. We're going to have to go back and take a peek and see exactly what happened right there. So we're watching the 35 trying to get around track. We were just watching him not that long ago. He had Katie Osmond right behind him. And in front of him, the 01. 25 scrapes into the wall. The 01 starts to look underneath. That allows Spinks to try and move in just a little bit. Oh, gets himself loose. KD able to get around. Rigsby locks up the front tires. He gets around. Doug Johnson gets a little piece of it. And then the 9 comes around. And then the 39 comes around trying to avoid everything. And the 35 comes and gives a tap to the 9. The 9 gives a little tap to the 39, and that's what brought us under caution. So back under caution once again. Several drivers deciding to come down pit road again, including your race leader, Colin Allman. Tommy Quattlebaum Jr. still out front. Well, actually, he is out front. The last time we were here, he was out front as well. But last time, he was a lap down. I think he still is. We'll see when he comes around. See if he goes down pit road. We know Dustin Ping is in the 9. 39, also a lap down. Lap 62 of 75 completed. Here comes Tommy Q down pit road, and that's going to surrender the lead to the 17 of AJ Rogers. Rogers with a really good pit stop, only 10 seconds in his pit stall. That leads me to believe maybe he only got 2 tires. We'll see. Allman going to restart in second spot. That's going to be the first time tonight that we've had a lead change. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not going to be the first time tonight. Quattlebaum was at leader at that moment and got scored as the race leader. So we've had 2 different lead changes amongst 3 drivers. AJ Rogers, another one of those short track drivers here from Racing for a Cause, so he knows how to get around these things. Again, we're at Lucas Oil Raceway. Little less than 7/10 of a mile is this track. We never did talk about track temperature. Right now sitting at 80 degrees with an air temperature of 77, so not too bad out there in IRP land. So it's going to be AJ Rogers, Colin Allman, and Troy Radford, your top 3. Brandon Hartwell going to start on the outside of the second row. Chris Spencer and KD. KD making his way back up in the 6th spot. And AJ Rogers hopping on that go pedal, and we are back under green flag, sending them into turns 1 and 2. Allman this time finds himself doing something he hasn't had to do under the green flag. He's trying to make a pass. He's going down to the inside. He's got 4 fresh tires versus maybe 2 in that 17. Will it be enough to let him stick? No. Right now the 17 holding on to the race lead. The outside lane able to hold that momentum. Oh, the 17 touches into the wall. That's going to break the momentum a little bit. That's going to give the 12 a chance to come back. Side by side going into turns 3 and 4. AJ Rogers able to hold on just a little bit, and he may have him by a nose at the line. He does, going into turns 1 and 2, still side by side for the race lead. It's the 17, AJ Rogers, and the 12 of Colin Allman. Allman looks like he may have the pass completed. He does. The 17 falls back into second spot. Taking a look to the inside now is AJ Rogers. Rogers not able to make that inside turn switch move work, but man, holding on a second now is AJ Rogers. Troy Radford trying to figure out a way around the 17. Chris Spencer, meanwhile, holding on to 4th spot. KD able to make his way up into 5th. That puts Brandon Hartwell into 6th spot. Justin Rigsby sitting in 7th. Baker is working his way up. He's in 8th spot right now with Dustin German sitting in 9th. Eric Blunt in the 6th car, running in the top 10 in 10th spot with the 31 of Ricky Harden right behind him. Josh Spalding working his way into the picture, and as is Chris Medford. Medford up to 13th spot. Remember, Chris Medford was running the fastest practice times out there before the qualifying event began, and Medford trying to show that he was fastest for a reason. He knows how to get around these tracks. I've raced against him several times. He's a very quick driver. And we'll see if he can get up towards the front. The 48 having a little bit of an issue. Josh Spalding falls 1 spot, and Medford takes it over. So that moves Chris Medford up in the 12th position. Behind them, it's Cade Green in the 19, holding on to this pack of cars. Got to go back a little bit to get to the 98. That's Aaron Tolhurst. The 4 of Mike Massengill ahead of him, but being scored 1 lap down. Russell Brown in the 00, being scored in 16th spot. After that, it's Mike Massengill, Doug Wasaki, Tyler Hilton, Matthew Spinks, Enrique Torres, Stephen Allen, Dustin Ping, John Johnson, Doug Johnson, Tommy Quattlebaum, Dylan Blankenship, Jeffrey Stiles, Chad Collier, and Donald Clark, all being at least 1 lap down. Top 16 still in it to win it. And Colin Allman, your race leader, and he is putting on a show tonight. He has made himself a gap of over a second already after the last restart. He had to wait a few laps to get around AJ Rogers, and he has done that. And now he is pulling away. Had to take a little bit of a breath. The action happening very quick around this track. The 88 of KD, I think he saw the 25 get into the wall again. The 25 has been a little bit tight. If KD can just kind of hold his line, he might have an opportunity to open up. But Steve Baker in the 55, obviously very, very good at those short tracks. As the 25 gets into the wall again, the 55, Steve Baker, like I said, Racing for a Cause's very first season champion when all they did was short track racing, and now the 55 finds himself at home trying to work his way back up to the front. Behind Baker, it's the 99 of Rigsby. Rigsby, no slouch here in the Racing for a Cause. He's been with them for a very long time. Justin Rigsby knows how to get around these short tracks and not afraid to do it as he has worked his way up to the 7th spot. You see the 01 and Brandon Hartwell touching into that wall. The track is starting to change and the cars are getting a little tighter, and that's going to cause them to start moving up towards that wall a little bit more. If they don't get off the throttle a little bit sooner, the guys that adapt to that the quickest will start moving up towards the front. I want to go ahead and take one moment to thank everybody out there in the Turn 3 Racing Network YouTube chat. You're watching the Racing for a Cause Vapor Trail Series. This is the Monster Energy car sitting on Lucas Oil Raceway. A little less than 7/10 of a mile is the distance on this track, and we had 35 cars start this event. Unbelievable numbers these guys are pulling, and wow. Awesome. We're watching right now a battle for 4th spot. The 25 of Christopher Spencer has it. Behind him, the 88, that's KD Osmond. Osmond looking to try and figure out a way around. He's seen the 25 get into the wall a few times, and he's also got some pressure right behind him. Season 1 champion, Racing for a Cause, the 55, Steve Baker, starting to get a little impatient. Feeling like maybe he's being held up just a little bit. And Rigsby in the 99 kind of watching how this one's starting to unfold. 55 took a peek to the inside, couldn't get there. So he rejoins the top side lane. And the 99 got very tight that time by. Ends up holding on to it, but German was able to take a quick look in the 28. 28, Chris Spencer still under attack by the 88. The 88 gets in the wall. That makes the 55 back up just a little bit. They regather. But Spencer in the 25 able to get away just a little bit. And now here comes the 88 right back to the rear bumper. 88 is fast. He just can't figure out a way around the 25. We're working lap number 85 of 175. Your race leader, Colin Allman, in the 12 car. Restarted this one in second after the last caution. Got around AJ Rogers in the 17. and he is just setting a blistering pace. Right now has a 2-second lead over second place Troy Radford in the 94. Then you have AJ Rogers. Rogers was able to hold on to the lead for 5 laps. But once Almonds got going, there was very little that could stop him. Chris Spencer still holding on to 4th with KD Osmond, Steve Baker, Justin Rigsby, and Dustin German right behind him. And we're going to add Brandon Hartwell to the fray as these cars are starting to pack in behind. Spencer goes way up tall, and the 88 of KD Osmond making a move to the inside. KD Osmond going in for position. This is for P4, and Osmond takes it just a little too shallow, not able to hold that momentum. The 55 looking to get around him on the outside. He does. KD fighting back on the inside. This could be trouble. Across the line, Steve Baker had position on KD Osmond. Osmond starting to fall back now. He's got a group of cars working the outside. KD was trying to make a pass. He thought he had it to the inside, just wasn't able to get there quick enough. And now he finds himself falling. He's got a group of cars behind that are all going to take the high lane. They're going to freight train him on back. Steve Baker now working the back bumper of Chris Spencer. Spencer trying to hold on for dear life. Right now, he is doing the one thing that he can definitely do. He is running the groove that everybody else wants to be in. That high line is the fast way around this track, and he is holding that position. It's making it very difficult for anybody to get around him. But the 55, I think, has the ponies under the hood to be able to do it. He's just got to figure out a way. The 88, KD Osmond, able to slip back in line just in front of the 01 of Brandon Hartwell. Now KD has to regroup, reload, and refire that 88 machine as Steve Baker looking to the inside now. Again, this is a dangerous move if he doesn't make the pass. Oh, the 25 helps him out by scraping into the wall. That could give the 55 just enough of a headway. 25 bouncing back on the outside. 55 sends it into turns 3 and 4. Steve Baker trying for position 4, and the 55 comes off. The 25 able to hold on, and here comes Rigsby to the outside of Baker now. Rigsby hits the wall. The 55 going again on the inside. Here comes German in the 28. We're going 2 by 2, all for 4th spot. German settles back into the top lane. The 55 still holding strong on the inside lane. Almost contacting the 25 there. Now the 55 makes that pass happen. Here comes Rigsby. Rigsby to the inside. The 25 having been a hell of a time trying to operate that car off from the wall. It is bouncing off the wall almost every single corner now. 25 getting very tight in the 99, working his way around. To the inside is Rigsby. Dustin German starting to close to the back bumper of the 25. Can't quite get there. He gets very tight, heads up towards the wall. Saves it. Oh no, the 25 going around. He saves it. 25, Chris Spencer tries to hold on and does, but not before losing a few positions. There may be words after it for this one. Meanwhile, Steve Baker in the 55 sitting in 4th spot. He's trying to figure out where the race leaders are, and they're very far ahead of him. 3 seconds separating Steve Baker and AJ Rogers on track in a whole host of slower cars. Make sure if you haven't, go on Facebook, type in Vapor Trail in the search bar and check out their really fine quality products. They have some really cool t-shirts. I got to go back there and look at those again. I'm thinking I might have to buy one. Steve Baker dealing with a bunch of slow cars down the 55, and that's going to allow a bunch of those other drivers to kind of catch the back door. The 77. We saw him involved in the very first caution flag. That's Enrique Torres. And looks like Baker moves down. He's going to get around him. He's bringing Dustin German, Katie Osmond with him. These drivers trying to catch the front of the field. Oh, very good move from the 01. Brandon Hartwell trapping the 88 way in the middle. And Hartwell looks like he's going to take position away from KD. Hartwell does it, moves up in line, and now has to get around the 77 to continue moving forward. Great move by Brandon Hartwell. Good vision. 77 touching into the wall, and that's going to make everybody kind of jump. Rigsby starting to go around to the inside now. Justin Rigsby makes that pass happen. Lap 103 of 175. Nobody's going to come down pit road unless they absolutely have to under a green flag situation. We've got 72 laps to go for your race leader, Colin Allman, in the 12. I haven't talked about him for a little while because, well, let's face it, he's just pulling away. He's got almost a 6-second lead over your second place runner, Troy Radford. And Radford's got a 3-second advantage over the 17 of AJ Rogers. Steve Baker's picked it up a little bit. He's down only by about 2 seconds, but still a pretty big distance to try and climb back. But the 55 holding strong, holding steady, trying to make up that distance. Dustin German right behind Baker. German rounding out the top 5. And the 12 of Colin Allman still putting the herd on the field. Top 14 drivers and 14 only are on the lead lap. Eric Blunt in the 6th, last car on the lead lap. That's the autism awareness number 6. And you see Chris Spencer in the 25 has fallen all the way back to 13th position. That car becoming ill handling for Spencer. Saw a car go off track. I believe it was the 48 of Josh Spalding, but he has picked it back up. Heading back out there. Dustin Ping sitting on pit road. So I thought it was the 48, and I was correct. It was Josh Spalding. Now down 1 lap. So top 13 drivers on the lead lap as the 4 of Mike Massengill getting set to go another lap down to your race leader of the 12 of Colin Allman. Last time we checked, the differential between AJ Rogers and Steve Baker was almost 2 seconds, now down to about 1.5 seconds. So Baker is starting to catch him. As we've seen, catching and passing, 2 very different things here at Lucas Oil Raceway. This little track providing a lot of fits as far as passing here goes. Lap 112 of 175 being worked right now by your race leader, Colin Allman. Troy Radford sitting in 2nd, AJ Rogers in 3rd. Of the top 3 drivers, only 2 of them have led laps. Colin Allman, obviously, with 106 laps led. AJ Rogers has also led 5 laps. The only other driver to lead laps tonight, Thomas Quattlebaum Jr., currently being scored in his 08, 3 laps down. 23rd position for Tommy. What was a couple of seconds just a few laps ago has turned into less than 1 second for the 55 of Steve Baker to try and catch the 17 of AJ Rogers. Plenty of time to go, 61 laps. Brandon Hartwell rounding out the top 5. The 88 of Katie Osmond just outside of that top 5, sitting in 6th spot. Rigsby in 7th. Ricky Harden driving the number 31 in 8th position. Chris Mefford has worked his way up to 9th. And Cade Green in the number 19, rounding out that top 10. Well, Steve Baker, by virtue of being one of the fastest cars on track as we go under caution, had really closed the gap. I'm not sure where that caution was. We're going to go back and see if we can't find it. Oh, we were just talking about him, Tom. Go back and see what happened to Tom Spottlebaum Jr. in the 08. The 08 working the top side, 98 to the bottom. Makes that pass happen. Goes by the 82 of Hilton and then gets into the wall and just can't save it. Luckily, nobody gets into him. He was right on the bottom line. Gets that ship righted, and that's what brought out the caution. Well, Chris Spencer being scored as your race leader, but he came down pit road, and I think he may have missed his pit stop. No time in the box. So Spencer with the 25, diving back down in. That is a fatal flaw here, because that's going to put him down a lap. 25 this time does find his pit stall. So Colin Allman going to be your race leader once again in the 12. Looks like we've had a little bit of shakeup in the top 5. We'll go over that in just a moment. So I think we have enough time. I'm going to step away for a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original eSport racing game. This is iRacing.
Back live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network under caution on lap 121. My goodness. It's going fast enough. I don't need to help him out here. Pace car lights are off. A lot of gentlemen trying to get laps back, going around the pace car. And we're going to reset that top 5, as I mentioned before the break. Colin Allman, your race leader once again. Troy Radford still in 2nd spot. Steve Baker, by virtue of a really good pit stop, comes out in 3rd spot. AJ Rogers in 4th, and KD comes out in 5th spot. Justin Rigsby picks up a spot into 6th. And that's how we're going to restart this one. Go pedals have been pressed, and the monsters under the hoods have come back to life. Colin Allman trying to hang on. Now is the time you have to go. Takes too long to pass. Yeah, Brad, he's not had his best night, unfortunately. Right now being scored in 28th spot, 33 laps down on pit road, having some work done. Colin Allman, on the other hand, has had a fantastic night. He's led 117 laps, definitely the fastest car on track. Troy Radford in the 94, sitting in second spot. Behind him, Steve Baker, newcomer to the top three. Steve Baker, very fast car. Now it's a matter of can he get there? And does he like the setup with fresh tires? If you're unfamiliar with what I mean, sometimes with fresh tires, the cars are a little bit tighter than these guys like. They just ran a very long green flag stretch, and the cars were starting to get a little bit on the loose side. Some drivers prefer that. Justin Rigsby in the 99, taking away 5th spot from KD. KD back to 6th in the 88. 31 tapping the wall. That's Ricky Harden. Brandon Hartwell saw that, moved down to the inside lane, couldn't make the pass though. Eric Long coming out of nowhere into the top 10. That's 6 car. A beautiful paint job. I love that thing. Autism awareness has to be a thing out there. And Eric is showing it off with a really beautiful paint job. Chris Mefford cracks into the top 10, that 46. He was the fastest car out there during practice, but has had a lot of difficulties finding his way through the track and through the field tonight. Has finally broken into that top 10 though. Allman starting to develop a rather lengthy lead, just about a second over the second place runner, 94 of Troy Radford. Steve Baker sitting in 3rd. Justin Rigsby really trying to make his moves as he is sitting in 5th spot. Rigsby, a very good short track driver, and that's exactly what we're on. Just shy of 7/10 of a mile here at Lucas Oil Raceway, and the show has been exciting from the drop of the green flag till now. $43 laps to go before we call this one done, and anything can happen here on the short track of, well, we'll call it IRP, we'll call it Lucas Oil Raceway. It's in Indianapolis, as the 17 and the 99 go into the wall. If you ever watched the broadcast race of Indianapolis Motor Speedway, if you watch the blimp mode, sometimes you can see this little track just outside. Pales in comparison to its big brother, but the action just as heavy. Once again, I want to thank everybody for turning in to the Turn 3 Racing Network. Tonight's race, Racing for a Cause, the Vapor Trail Monster Cup Series, and it has been nothing short of exciting here tonight. Over 30 drivers started this event. We still have About 27, 28 drivers in it, although some are on pit road, some are laps down at this point. This track really taking a toll, especially for those drivers who were out back, some of it. And Rigsby working his way around the 17, so it's Justin Rigsby now your fourth place driver. Again, Rigsby really knows how to get around these short tracks, and he is proving it once again. Pushing AJ Rogers back into fifth spot. The lead between first and second, Allman has a 1.4 second lead over Troy Radford for second spot. But we're hanging here because KD trying to make a move to the inside of the 17. Couldn't quite make it happen that time. Gets a good run into the corner. Can he hold that momentum coming out? He starts lining it up side by side as they go into turn one. The 17 gets in the wall. That may help the 88. Out by a nose now is KD as Rogers fights back on the outside. AJ Rogers doing a good job on the outside after hitting the wall, trying to come back and hold position at the line. KD Osmond has it. Osmond back into the top five and now really starting to stretch that advantage over the 17. He does and clears, so KD works his way back into the top five after being out of it for so long. An early pit stop that was just forever put him back into the field. Now, like I said, back in the top five. Gaps are starting to widen between the top three as Baker's starting to lose a little bit of ground now to Troy Radford. For a good part of this run, he was making up ground, now going the opposite way. Good battle going on here for seventh spot. Brandon Hartwell looking for it, but no, under caution. We'll have to go back and see what happened. And it looks like it was the 77 once again. He was out for the first caution, and now on lap 145, caution once again. Enrique Torres, driver of the 77. Coming out of turn number 4 there. Gets in the wall and tries to save it. Can't do it. Hits the inside retaining wall. Back out on track, facing the wrong way, just in front of the leader. So Enrique Torres, 77, all beat up, and we are under caution once again. Pit stops. All lead lap drivers are on pit road. It's going to be a battle off. AJ Rogers with a great pit stop that time. Allman just a little bit better, able to get back out in front. That's going to push Troy Radford back to third, Steve Baker to fourth. Rigsby getting around KD on pit road. KD once again finds himself just outside of the top 5. Ricky Harden in the 31, running in 7th spot. Brandon Hartwell in the 01, running in 8th. Aaron Tolhurst running 9th in his number 98, and Eric Blum rounding out the top 10 in his 6 car. Chris Spencer in the 25. He's in 11th spot. Cade Green in 12th. Tyler Hilton running 13th. Chris Mefford having some issues, it looks like. Oh, it definitely has some damage to the right side of that 46 machine. May have gotten into the wall. But he is being scored on the lead lap. Chris Mefford in 14th position. Everybody else down at least one lap here tonight. Make sure you turn in the Turn 3 Racing Network. Just about every single night we've got something going on. Short track, big track, short track with fast cars, big tracks with slow cars. We got all kinds of options for you. Starting next week, Racing for a Cause on Wednesday night. Coming back for another season of a short track series. Pretty excited to bring that to you right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. It's going to be Chris and Rick doing that one. I've got these guys on Tuesday nights for another couple of weeks. Then their main broadcaster, KR Stolfus. Wow. KR Stolfus is going to take them back over for the remainder of the season. And yeah, Linda, I agree. Allman's going to be very tough to beat. Nobody's really been able to catch him. And I don't know what it's going to take. Almost a bumper. That's the only thing I think will do it. Allman lining up, getting ready to go. AJ Rogers to the outside. Radford and Baker making up row 2. Rigsby and Osmond making up row 3. The 12 hits the go pedal, and everybody left standing. Wicked restart off from the 12 machine. AJ Rogers couldn't hold on to him. And now Troy Radford battling to the inside. The 55 of Steve Baker on the outside now. Baker not able to hold on. Ooh, very close racing right there. Radford goes to the outside now. Baker to the inside. We've seen time and time again that inside line not quite as fast as the outside line, but he's making it work. The 55 around Troy Radford. That was for position 3. So Radford, after being in the top 3 all night long, finds himself in 4th as we go under caution once again. Looks like this time it is the 46 machine of Chris Mefford, all tore up on the backside. We'll go back one more time. So we're watching the 46 out there. He is behind the 25, goes up to the top and may have gone a touch. And then Tyler Hilton gets a piece of it as well. Both of those drivers into the inside retaining wall. Hilton able to drive away a little bit quicker than the 46. The 46, heavy damage. Laps winding down, and so are the tempers. 23 laps to go. These guys are really trying to push out there, trying to get as much out of this race as they can, knowing that points do matter. Speaking of points, let's take a look at that one more time. Coming in tonight, Jerry West was the top man. Jason Anderson, another driver that had a really good finish last week, did not start here tonight. Dustin Ping, 3rd place in points, but not having the best of nights. Chris Spencer in the 25, out there on the lead lap, running in 11th spot. Tim Lee not out there tonight. Steve Baker running in the top 3. Rigsby just outside of the top 5, running in 6th place right now. Tommy Quattlebaum not having a great night for him. Jeff Stiles not running tonight. Oh, actually, yes, he is. I'm sorry. He's running 23rd, 6 laps down. And Doug Wasaki, who for a little while was running in 10th spot, now finds himself 2 laps down in 18th position. Again, those were the points coming into tonight. They're not live updated, but they are certainly going to change after tonight's race. This race has been Colin Allman's to lose all night long. He's led 148 of the 155 completed. AJ Rogers, who's starting to his outside, has led 5. Tom Quattlebaum Jr. has led 1. Pace car lights still on for one more lap. Stay tuned. After the race, we will have post-race interviews for the top 3 finishers. Pace car lights are off. One more time around the track. We'll go back to the green flag. Remember, RFC is being brought to you by Vapor Trail Clothing. Make sure to check them out on Facebook. Type Vapor Trail Clothing into the browser. You'll find them. Go ahead and check out the website too, man. Pretty cool stuff out there. Doing a good job. Lots of quality products. As the 12 gets ready to restart the field, he's got the 55 right behind him. 12 takes off. AJ Rogers with a better restart this time, but not good enough to get away from Steve Baker. Baker on the inside, holding on strong. The 94 taps into the 17. The 17 goes around. Oh my goodness, we saw that one live. Big time pile up. Huge amount of cars. Oh lordy. Back under caution once again. This time, the caution coming out. Troy Radford got into the backside of the 17. AJ Rogers. Rogers not able to hold on. Goes around and it causes a huge mess on the track. We're going to step away while they clean it up, guys. We're going to be right back. Back live. Tow truck operators doing a fantastic job getting the track cleaned up. And yeah, Linda, nobody prides himself more than Troy running clean. And man, it's just one of those deals. You run out of room here. AJ may have had to check up a little bit, caught Troy unexpectedly, it would be my thought. Nonetheless, we do have a lot of changes happening in the top 5 now. Let's go over those. Colin Allman, no surprise, the race leader. He's led, well, we'll wait till he crosses the start-finish line. He's led 154 laps now. Steve Baker going to restart in second spot. Look who's in third. KD Dale Osmond sitting in third spot. He's going to have Troy Radford starting to his outside. And Justin Rigsby in the 99 is moving into the top 5. That last caution, a tough break for a lot of drivers. You saw the carnage on track. And that's short track racing. Pace car lights go off. We're going to try and get this one done. 14 laps to go. Colin Allman, your race leader. Steve Baker, he's been looking for the ability to fight for the lead this entire race. Finally finds it here, lining up side by side with the 12. And now it's up to the 12. When do they go? 55. Pulling back just a little bit, making sure he can see when the 12 goes, maybe so he can hear him a little bit better. And the 12 rocket ships away. The 55 hard on the gas pedal as well. KD Osmond stuck to the inside. That's not where he's going to want to be. He's going to want to move up. Right now, holding on to positions, KD Osmond, but Troy Radford on the outside, going to have the advantage. The 0-1 of Brandon Hartwell holding on to the outside now. KD may be going backwards if he can't find a hole to get into. He may have had one right there, an opportunity slipping by. As we are under caution one more time. Kind of expected out here at the end of a long, short track race. We're going to have to go back and figure out what happened. Looks like it was happening back here. Nope. And it looks like whatever happened, it may not let me get back to. We'll see. Keeps bringing me to AJ Rogers, so maybe it was something with the 17. No, it was not. All right. A little bit of a mystery. And we'll keep it just like that as a mystery. Not sure what brought that caution out, but after crossing the start-finish line, only 10 laps to go. Less than 10 miles of the 117 slated to be completed here tonight. Again, from Lucas Oil Raceway, right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. This is the Racing for a Cause Vapor Trail Monster Energy Series. Brought to you by Vapor Trail Clothing. Make sure to check them out on Facebook and their website. I'll go ahead and thank everybody who's come on in and started watching and continues to watch with us here tonight. Really do appreciate that. We're 40% through the work week as of right now, and I'll be happier when we're about 80 or 85% through. About mid-morning on Friday is about when I really start picking it up. I don't know about you guys. Getting ready for the weekend. Speaking of picking it up, Colin Allman has picked it up this entire race. 160 laps led. And that total going to go up as we are continuing under caution. Cars start folding in 2 by 2, getting ready for what could be the last restart. I have to use those words very cautiously. I know that. Top 5 have changed once again. Allman, Baker, Radford, Osmond, and Hartwell. The outside line has been so fast tonight, except for on the restarts. That leader's advantage really playing a role in Colin Allman's drive here tonight. The 12 hits the loud button, what could be for the last time. And he has a really good hole shot this time. Troy Radford looking to the inside of Steve Baker. Radford on the inside. Sneaks up in front of the 88. KD Osmond up into 4th spot. Now battle brewing right behind him for 5th. It's between Rigsby and Hartwell. Rigsby gets into the wall just a little bit. Hartwell battling back on the inside. Can't quite get there. Goes back to the top lane. Linda, you're absolutely right. There is no patience in the last 15 laps. Doubly so in the last 5, and that's exactly where we are. Steve Baker holding on to 2nd. Troy Radford 3rd. Dale Osmond 4th. Justin Rigsby into the top 5 and 5th spot. Brandon Hartwell was trying to put a battle on, can't quite get there. Trying to use that inside line to close in to the 99. Does a little bit, but then loses that ground a little bit. Down the back stretch they go. The 01 trying to do everything he can to get to the back bumper of the 99, looking for a top 5 finish here is Hartwell. 4, make it 3 laps to go for Colin Allman. Colin Allman doing a fantastic job once again, leading the way around this circuit. Has a little over a second lead over second place runner Steve Baker in the 55. Then it starts to tighten up a little bit. Troy Radford, KD right there, along with Justin Rigsby. White flag out this time for your race leader, Colin Allman, coming out of turn 4 to take the white flag at the start-finish line. One more time around this little 7/10 of a mile track. Down the back stretch, nice and clean, is the number 12. Heading into turns 3 and 4 on the brakes. Now lets it coast through the corner, back on the accelerator, and across the start-finish line for your race win. Steve Baker second, Troy Radford in third. Dale Osmond in fourth, Justin Rigsby fifth. Brandon Hartwell holding on to 6. Eric Blunt in the 6th car, finishing in 7th spot. Cade Green in 8th. Ricky Harden 9th. And Dustin German rounding out the top 10. Then it's going to be Josh Spalding, Tyler Hilton, AJ Rogers, Chris Mefford, Russell Brown. And Brown rounding out the top 15. Aaron Tolhurst, John Johnson, Doug Wasaki, Tom Quattlebaum Jr., Mike Massengill rounding out the top 20. Then you have Doug Johnson, Jeffrey Stiles, Chris Spencer, Enrique Torres, and Dylan Blankenship rounding out the top 25. Steve Allen, Dustin Ping, Matt Spinks, Chad Collier, and Donald Clark rounding out the top 30. Bobby Summers, Chris Berg, Dakota Bryant, Ray Radford, and Andy Lambert rounding out the field here tonight. Guys, we're going to take a quick break, set up those post-race interviews. We're going to be right back. And we are back here at Lucas Oil Raceway after watching what's got to be one of the more entertaining races I have ever seen. 175 laps in the Monster Energy car right here on Lucas Oil Raceway, and it was a lot of fun to watch. Let's bring up your third place finisher, driver of the number 94, Troy Radford. Troy, this is Chris up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
No, I do. Chris, how you doing today, bud?
I'm doing pretty well, bud. I just watched a really entertaining race that probably didn't end the way you wanted it to. A couple of cautions there at the end, and I'm not going to pull any punches. One of them kind of had your front bumper written all over it.
Yeah, it did. You know, that's all on me. I want to go back and watch the replay and everything. It felt like I got sent into the corner, although I know I didn't. But the closing rate was real fast all of a sudden, so I just couldn't get anything slowed up enough to not get AJ. And AJ is one of my buddies. I absolutely hate, getting into anybody. I don't want to get into AJ.
Yeah, right on. But now, you were in the top 3 most of the night. You did fall out of it once, but managed to get back in, obviously. Colin Allman, you were chasing that guy most of the night. You were sitting in second spot, trying to figure out a way to get to him. no way could you do it. What was going on out there?
He's just absolutely phenomenal on the short tracks, man. He's a very, very high I rating short track racer. I think he runs a lot in Sarah with the super lates. Just absolutely huge amounts of talent there for the short track racing. So we knew he was going to be hard going in. I think we're going to be pretty dang equal whenever we get off these short tracks. But just that was a hard one. I knew I had a solid second place car. Those late race cautions really killed me. My car didn't fire off quite like I wanted it to. Give me about 8 laps, and I'd start pulling away from the guys behind me. But it just took a few minutes to get everything rolling. But just to be kind of in the ballpark, we got separated a little bit there with some of the lap cars. I was just being a little careful getting around them. But just to be in the ballpark, Collins, that's a good race.
Yeah, absolutely. And a third place finish, not a bad way, especially after last week. Not the luck you were looking for last week. So,
Yep.
On the 94, anybody you need to thank tonight, bud?
First of all, of course, National Kidney Foundation. I've been running their colors for a couple of years. Evidence-Based Mommy, my wife's parenting blog. If you got any parents out there looking for a little bit of help with their kids, check it out. It's evidencebasedmommy.com, and there is a hyphen.
All right. Driver of the number 94, Troy Radford, coming home third place tonight. Troy, congratulations once again.
Yep, thank you, sir.
And coming home in second place tonight. I'm still trying to get used to this red car thing, because that's not how I know him. I know him in a black car, navy on it all over the place. It's the driver of the 55, Steve Baker. Steve, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Oh, you're a little low, bud, but we can hear you.
Is that better?
Oh, there you go. Hey, there you are. Well, Baker, you had a hell of a run tonight. I was watching you for a good portion of the night, and man, you made your way up, and I thought you were going to have something for Allman, but once you got up there, it was lights out anyway.
Yeah, it's tough to close with only a few laps left, and that leader getting the jump on the restart really helps. But Colin's solid on short tracks, man. He's a heck of a driver. But yeah, just decided to start out back. We had a ton of cars out here, so didn't know how it was going to play out. So just figured we could make our way through the field, and just worked out for us. Only got a few bumps and bruises on the car, but worked out and made our way up to second.
Yeah, all in all, the car is clean. And like you said, you started way back in the field. So congratulations on that, man. That's actually like a win in itself right there, especially on this little track.
Yeah, it's a tough place to pass, but if you can line it up and time it right, you can make the most of each pass attempt. Sometimes I got held on the bottom there and wasn't able to get it done, but long race with 175 laps, so plenty of time to make the way up. But yeah, it was a lot of fun out here tonight. Getting to race with a lot of different guys, so yep.
All right, bud. Anybody on the 55 that you need to thank tonight?
Yeah, I want to thank my teammates, Dustin and Josh were out there, SSR team, and then SRTV Network on the car. And thank you, Chris, for the broadcast, Turn 3 Network. They're always great, and thanks for RFC for putting the show on.
All right, that's the driver of the number 55, the red, Steve Baker. And what a good finish for him. One more guy to talk to, and, well, he kind of dominated the show tonight. He led 169 laps of the 175 completed. It's the driver of the number 12, Colin Allman. Colin, this is Chris up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, man, I got you.
Well, I'll tell you what, bud, that was an awful dominating performance. You had the other two drivers finishing in the top three, singing the praises. What made you so fast tonight?
To be honest with you, it's because I've been running short tracks since the day I got on this game. So I don't run much mile-and-a-half stuff. They'll probably have me covered in those places. But short tracks, I run supers and modifieds every week. So it helped me a lot because I've ran supers quite a bit on this track. So it kind of helped me out with the line and knew what the track was going to do as the run went on. So.
Well, that definitely does help. Did you find the setup out of this car very similar to the Super, or not really?
Not at all.
Yeah. I was going to say, you're putting down
totally
a lot
different,
more
this car.
horsepower, right?
Yeah. This car's a lot heavier. You don't carry as much corner speed, so you got to woe it up. You can't drive it in as deep. These cars are way heavier. So with the new aero package, you can actually get on it harder in these cars than you can with the Supers, but that's just because of the amount of corner speed that you carry in the Super is a lot more than it is in these cars.
Yep, that's awesome. Man, you had an absolutely awesome night, and congratulations. That's first and foremost, bringing that right up behind it. Anybody on the 12 that you need to thank tonight?
Yeah, I got to thank guys at Front Stretch Mafia. Got to thank my buddy Cade. He had some speed tonight. He got caught up in a little bit of stuff, but he ended up finishing 8th, salvaged the top 10, which is good for points. And thank him for painting the scheme for me. I got to thank my mom and dad. They were both watching tonight, and maybe my sister. Maybe she was watching tonight. I have no idea. But yeah, man, it was a lot of fun tonight, and can't wait for next week.
All right, Colin. Thank you very much, man, and congratulations once again. That was a really awesome show you put on. 169 laps led out of the 175.
All right, thanks, guys.
Colin Allman, your race leader tonight, and that's going to wrap it up right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. You were watching the Racing for a Cause guys, getting it on here on a Tuesday night on the little Lucas Oil Raceway. Thank you all very much for coming out and joining us here tonight. We look forward to doing it again next week right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. We will see you next time.